Don't tell me we're going to have to restart.
No, you're just going to have to put in a paper Alex until this moment.
Why?
Because it crashed, even though the update said it's supposed to fix that.
How is mine not crashing? And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of V-Time, episode 147.
It's, we're slowly creeping up there to the 150.
Something special is going to happen in 150 if I'm not lazy, so hopefully that happens.
If you're not lazy.
Hey, that's the legitimate reason for anything you do in life. It's like, this is going to happen if I'm not lazy. But we got a good episode. Go for it.
This is where I'd put my world's invite if I had one.
Hey, what do you mean? I got my world's invite right here.
All right, y'all.
Right there, so it's in frame. Somewhat. Maybe. Not really. Oh,
Maybe.
Well. Anyway, we got a good episode for you tonight. Some interesting leaks. Almost finished with set 7, as well as some spicy news. But before that, if you're interested in buying any course from TCG Player, please use our affiliate link down below.
Your purchases through this link help support the channel, so we can bring more great videos like this straight to you guys.
And with that scripted part out of the way, let's go straight into the league. Starting us off with some Stoke goodies. Alex, take them away.
Sylvan Horned Beast Tigrata. Auto front row rear guard. This doesn't Stoke. Just kidding. when your other unit in the same column as this unit attacks, it gets power plus 10 until the end of battle.
So that unit gets power. So this thing doesn't get big at all.
Yeah. I mean, it helps things get bigger, and it's a 13k on its own, so, I mean...
Hey, imagine putting this in front of Care Bear.
Yeah. I was going to say either Care Bear or... No, you can't do that. It has to have Rattling in front of it, put in front of the Moloki token, but I think you have to have a Rattling in front of it, so it can't work.
I mean...
But yeah.
You're the Sky expert, you tell me.
I mean, it's pretty much only works with Magnolia, so any Magnolia support is going to work with this card.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
there's not much.
No.
Tell me another thing that can attack from the back row.
It's just when this unit, right? Oh, it's when your
other unit in the same column as this unit attacks. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's only for Maggie. Noblesse Frit. Continuous rear guard. During your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, it gets power plus 5. Hey, look. It's that trend we saw of those 13k grade 1s.
I think this is all of them. I'm pretty sure this is all of them. I swear to God, if we see another one, I'm like, damn it, didn't we already get this?
I thought we already did get one for Stoke, but I guess we didn't.
Exactly. But don't worry, there is some spice in the leaks.
Yes. Cooperative Strike Brave Shooter. Auto back row center rear guard. You're competing for the Primo. When this unit, when your rear guard attacks, if it's the first battle of this turn, it gets power plus 5 until the end of the turn.
I mean, it's a common for a reason.
Yeah. There's something else there's other things you're gonna want in the back row.
There's at least 2 cards. One that we already know of. There's a promo grade 3 that can attack from the back row center. Mm-hmm. And then there's another card we're going to talk about later that again is, like you said, competing for this spot in the back row center. It's like, no, there's nothing's going to go over there.
Yep.
When did Flagberg turn into back row center deck?
I don't know. Trying to be a weird Maggie.
Anyway, we're going to move on to the Tuesday stream. And oh boy, did we see some goodies from the anime. We saw some Dark States as well as some Dragon Empire leaks. And they kind of showed us some major support for Jejul in set 7. First off with Falcate Performer. It's a grade 1 auto rearguard. When this unit boosts, choose up to 1 card from your drop, and if you do not have the same grade with that card in your soul, put it into your soul. So 100% a Jejul fixer.
Mm-hmm.
You can technically run it in anything else, but most of the time in all the Dark States decks, you're going to have exactly all of the cards in your soul, and maybe minus a grade 3 depending on what the game state. So you can only see play in Jejul.
And that's sad because I have one issue with that. And I know I've had this issue with other nations too, but I mean, I don't know, it's something I'm going to bring up. Of, oh cool, look at this great Jewel support. I wonder if it's a Jewel dragon. No, it's not.
No, yeah.
This kind of when you play a stack, all these cool looking edgy dragons, one random cap.
You want a cool edgy looking dragon? I'll give you a cool edgy looking dragon in Demonic Stone Dragon, Rokagura. It's a grade 2 triple rare for the Drajul. Auto rearguard once per turn when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit. If your soul has 4 or more cards with different grades, this unit gets power 10k until the end of turn. And then auto rearguard when you soul blast 4 or more cards at the same time for the cost of your Vanguard's ability. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, counter +1 and stand this unit. Can only be used if you soul blast 4 or more cards at once. So this is the restandard for the Jewel we've been seeing and waiting for. And technically is generic, like it doesn't say Jewel anywhere in its card name, but with the way the effect is worded currently in standard and specified in standard, it's only really usable in Jewel. Like in any other Dark States deck, you're only going to be getting the 10k power. That's it.
I'm gonna say you technically could put it in Bruce, but you're already restanding anyways, as it's redundant.
Yeah, why would you waste a CB to restand again? Not get anything out of it. Like, wait a minute.
They activate at the same time, right?
Wait a minute. No, we're good. When you soul blast 4 more cards at the same time for the cost of your Vanguard, yeah. Like they did this smart. They did this card smart in the sense of, like, only Jewel can really use it. Not any other deck in standard can really abuse it. Because I was thinking of it in a similar form, like Esmeralda. Like we just did it in Eugene. Think of it this way: like Bruce, use soul blast 5 to restand it, and then swing with it, and then swing with Bruce, and then because Vanguard's swinging, it restands by its own ability. But no, it only stands when you soul blast 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying to break it, and I can't. But
maybe in a future card.
Unfortunately, the common grade 3 we did not too long ago, the soul blast 6 grade 0s, can't work with this either because that's an act ability, and would have loved.
It's also not a Vanguard ability.
Yes, it is. Soul blast 6 grade 0s.
Yeah. I was thinking of the grade 1. My bad.
No.
The one that you can soul blast 1 or more grade 1s for the zeros.
No, I cheesed that one. I was like, I can technically soul blast 3 or more. Let me retire something annoying.
Pretty much.
But no, overall good support. Counterblast heavy. We need some countercharge and Jewel, please, Bushy. But really, really good card. Now on to the other spice. Yeah, your turn.
Break equip dragon Urbago. Auto when this unit becomes an original dress. Cost counterblast 1, soul charge 1. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Oh, hello, crossover dress support.
I love how this new crossover just support this card. The next card we're going to talk about is like, why play Eugene when you can play the same effect in Overdress?
Yeah. It's becoming a trend where everybody's like, hey, cool, that's cool Eugene effect. I'm going to take it.
Hey, Derek started it, all right?
Jesus Christ.
Have a better fucking Eugene effect in a grade 2 rearguard than an actual Vanguard.
So what is this better Eugene card you say?
Oh, yeah.
Flaring cannon equip Baru Vairina. Crossover dress with a Trick Star and a Prayer Dragon unit. Same old. Act rearguard. When this unit is in the crossover dress state, you can pay a Soul Blast 2 to choose one of your opponent's rear cards and retire it. This is not once per turn.
Yes, that is very crucial.
Auto rearguard. When this unit is in the crossover dress state, that attacks a Vanguard. This unit gets power plus 2,000 until the end of that battle for each of your opponent's open rearguard circles. Then, if your opponent has 1 or less rearguards, cost counterblast 1, and at the end of the battle, this unit gets drive -1 and performs drive checks.
Wait a minute, hold the fuck up. And I've known this effect, but I'm now just double checking it. This, fuck.
What?
Don't crit sack your opponent. They can do this while you're a grade 2.
Yeah. It's a grade 3, but...
Yeah, but if you go first and you ride grade 3, you can technically...
Yeah. Yeah, there's no restrictions.
Stupid. That's stupid. God fucking damn it. Anyway, it's a good card.
Yes. And also the losing the drive and performing drive checks is until the end of battle, not turn. So when you attack again with it, when you restand, it resets the drive check count again. So basically it's always just drive checking 1.
Exactly. So if you have 3 CB, you can attack Cannabis 1 to have a drive check with a potential 21 to 23k attacker. And then you swing with Vanguard, twin drive, restand this for Cannabis, and then Cannabis again to have another 23, maybe even more because of triggers, attacker with another drive check. So here's 4 drive checks in crossover dress. Have fun, go ham. With retire engine. With a retire engine. Let me make that clear.
Yeah, a really good retire engine of that because your Prayer Dragon's also going to retire something if you have the CB for it. And then it's also going to fill the soul for this thing.
Oh yeah. Fun times all around.
Exactly.
Anyway, we're going to move on to the next couple of cards because as much as those cards are really good, they're also very self-explanatory.
Yes.
But now we got to move on to some Velstra support. He's not over. He got some more. After seeing that nifty triple rare, we got some extra cards for him in Blitz Accountant Manager Zoldio. It's a grade 2 rare. Auto rearguard when your mobile fortress of obliteration free shoots maximum is operated. If you did not countercharge this turn, Soul Blast 1 and countercharge 1. So he has to stay on the board. There is no way to bounce him with Fritzers and activate his ability, so you got to be careful with that. But as long as he's on the board, you basically have a free make a fucking order on the normal unit thingy.
Yep. Also one sec.
What now?
1 sec. Don't count.
All right. Anyway, moving on from this card. Simple, straightforward, countercharge for Assault Blast. Not bad, honestly. Well, we got Blitz, Top Sales, Unlerk. Act, Rearguard. If you have a Vanguard with Velstra in its card name, retire this unit. Search your deck for up to 1 Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Free Shoots or Mobile Fortress Obliteration Fortress maximum, reveal it and put it into your hand. And if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. So basically it gets you a grade 2 or grade 3 order from your drop or deck by retiring itself. So it's basically a 1-for-1. I don't know how good this is because it basically just has you have multiple. It basically counts as multiple copies of those 2 orders. But other than having the grade 3 order in your hand when you're going second, I don't see a really reason to have him to need to fix that.
Yeah.
Not to mention, even if you do put the order in your hand, you're still technically minusing 1 because the order is going to go to the order zone. So, I don't know. It's like, it's a good card, but it's also not necessary in my opinion. Like the video showed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, moving on. We just got one more card for Velstra that we saw in the anime and we're finally getting it. Blitz Security Vechten. Auto, when this unit is put on Guardian Circle, if your order zone has a product card, this unit gets shield 5k until the end of battle. Simple, straightforward, it's a 10k shield body. I mean, I can see it because Velstra kind of needs some help. Like, hand size is not a thing at all.
It's a hand size.
No, right?
I mean, you trade off by getting rid of a lot of units and at the same time also, like, basically getting rid of a lot of power. So you're putting a lot of pressure, even though you don't have the hand to kind of fight back with it.
Exactly. Velstra is good in retiring your opponent's stuff, negating your opponent so your stuff can hit, and then just having potential 4 attacks. Technically a +1 because you bounce something back to your hand after and get twin drive. But at the same time, that +1 is not really a +1. It's kind of weird. But enough of Velstra. We're going to move on to some more Dark State support. I want to say this is generic support. So Alex, please tell me what it is.
Give me just a sec.
1.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I should have made the little stick before I said that. We're looking at Dark State trait.
Yep. Ready?
Yes. Heat, Haze, Acrobat, Miloslava. Right? Miloslava, yeah. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard from hand during your main phase. That's a lot of conditions. Cost, Counterblast 1. Choose a card from your soul with a grade less than or equal to your Vanguard and put the chosen card into your hand if it's the same name as your Vanguard. and call it to rear guard if it does not. And if you put a card into your hand, it gets power. This card gets power +5.
So it's Persona Rite Searcher, or just, make a free unit on the board for a Counterblast.
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about this one.
It's a lot of restrictions, but I understand why it's a lot of restrictions.
Yeah, because if you were able to do this during the battle phase, like this is just a lot of pluses, multi-attacks. Like certain Darkseid decks don't need this to be that stupid.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a good utility card. Like, I think more times than not, I'm going to call something to rigor than actually add a Persona Rite to hand.
I feel like they could have gotten rid of the hand clause and then just so you can get a card that's not this card from your soul. And it would have been fine.
Yeah. I will say this, whenever we do test it out, this card's going to go very well in the promo grade 3 in Dark States that looks at how many grade 3s you have in Soul. Because this basically just makes it another. You pull something out of Soul, so you either have a column to attack with, or you pull a grade 3 out, use the Vanguard's ability, put herself and the grade 3 back into Soul, and then, go. So it's got a lot of good utilities in that deck specifically. I honestly can't wait to build that deck. I want to see how it works.
That's Darkseid getting all these fun builds.
Hey, you can make some fun builds in Stoke too. We got the dragon that does double order Alchemagic. We got a thing that's 7. Yeah, we got a thing that plays orders free. Like, there's a lot of jank builds you can build in Stoke.
Fair enough.
Anyway, moving on though. Before I switch my keyboards again, Depression Servia. She's a grade 1 common. Auto rearguard at the end of the battle that your Vanguard with Bear or Magnus in its card name attacked. Counterblast 2, retire this unit, choose 10 cards from your soul, and return the rest of all cards from your soul to your deck and shuffle it. That's a thing.
That is a thing.
So, let's say you have CB3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Open. You pull this. Actually, there's a grade 3 we talked about 2 weeks ago that pulls something out of Soul when she's called out of Soul. So let's say you pull the grade 3 and the counter charger out of Soul, right? With Bear Magnus' ability because you have 15, yada yada. So that's out Counterblast 1. You use the grade 3's ability, pull this out of Soul, and then you finish the Vanguard's attack. At the end of the battle that your Vanguard attacked, Counterblast, you retire this. So you use CB3 now, you choose 10 cards, and you put everything else back to your deck. So you can technically put triggers finally back into your deck with Bear Magnus.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They have a card that's similar to this that puts everything that's normally in it back into your deck.
As many as it wants and 5k for each, yeah.
Yeah, but then it clogs your deck with a bunch of non-triggers. But this one's like, cool, here's all of your triggers back.
Pretty much. The two downsides of it is the fact that it is counterblast 2, so even if you put out the counter charger, you're technically still counterblasting 2 overall for Bear Magnus and for her. But technically you would also be counterblasting 2 for Bear Magnus and the grade 2 you just mentioned. The person normal unit is back, so it's kind of evens out. But the other downside is the fact that you go back to 10 cards in Soul. So unless you have ways to go back to 15 easily, you're putting yourself in a very disadvantageous position. However, on the upside, if you turbo soul charge, let's say the fucking 20, and manage to put like 8 triggers back into your deck, I think like that's a very good trade-off. Yeah. It really just comes down to how much Bear Magnus can really turbo.
Yeah, overall, I think it's just really good.
I can see people running one copy just to go, yeah, I'm going to do this now.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth running more than one. It's just like the other guys. Like, that's an option if you see it as a really good option. This will charge a lot of triggers.
The other cards, in my opinion, a little bit better still just because it is only Counterblast 1. And the fact of the matter is, yes, you're putting normal units back, but it is gaining 5k for every normal unit put back. So let's say you put back 4 normal units, it's gaining 20k. So overall 30, if you called it out with Bear Magnus, it's not bad.
Can you really put a price, though, on putting back an over trigger in your deck?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Anyway, moving on. A lot of talk on one common, but just because it's fucking interesting and it's actually does an interesting ability. But we've got one more common, Steady Spiky. That is the actual name, yeah. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, counter +1, put a grade 0 card from your hand into your soul. Choose a grade 1 card from your soul and put it into your hand. Where was this when I was playing the jank deck?
I love how they're just like feeding all of the support for this build in here too. They're like, not only are we going to give you this janky grade 3 that we're going to see if you can build around, we're going to give you the cards to do it too.
Dude, I would love this in that jank grade feature. Just like, here's a grade 0 to fuel the cost. Give me that fucking grade 1 that I need to put more zeros for my drop.
Give me a perfect guard back.
Oh yeah, my god, this is a good card. It is a CB, but you know, the jank deck doesn't CB much, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
Damn it, I want to do it again. Anyway, moving on. We only got 4 more cards to look at, and that is oh boy, Flagberg support.
Flagberg support. Let's go.
Let's start off on a low note.
Yes. Below assault. Below.
Like you know, like the wind.
Yeah. Auto rearguard once per turn. When this unit, when the attack this unit boosted hits, if you have a stand Vanguard Flagberg in his card name, stand this unit.
So it's the same as a grade 2.
But this one's arguably better, but worse at the same time because, you know, something in front of it has to hit. It doesn't have to hit, so you're not wasting a restand. So if it does magically hit, you get to restand it. But
it's
most of the time, you're not boosting your first attack. You're boosting the second. So if you boost on the first attack and they guard it, it's a waste of your skill. I don't know. It's weird.
I will say this: put this behind a inlet pulse and swing for 21. I'm starting to think if I should guard or not, because whenever I play against Flagberg, if I'm at low damage, almost always I'm gonna take the first swing, because by chance if I hit a trigger, that means everything else is easier to guard. Put this behind an inlet pulse. Now people have to think, do I want to take the first hit? Same thing could be said for putting it behind. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And the thing about this card is it doesn't use any resource. It just does it.
Exactly.
So you're not losing anything resource-wise to do a skill. So
I don't know. It's an option, but I feel like there's other better cards. Like, for example, the next two we're going to talk about.
God, the next 2 cards. Rousing Breath Dragon. Continuous back row center rear guard. Here, Bush, you got a trend here going. During the 5th battle of this turn or more, the cost of your original auto abilities of Vanguard with Flagberg in its card name is reduced by Counter Blast 1.
So Flagberg's free now, huh?
On the 5th battle, Flagberg is free. I don't know what they were smoking making this card, but I'm glad it's here.
There's 2 things about this card. I feel like it's a better version of the thing. Like, Flagberg players have already been using a card that says, on the 5th battle, put it to soul countercharge, right?
Yes.
So it builds soul and countercharge for Flagberg's ability. The only merit here to this card is the fact that while it doesn't soul charge, it does stay on the board.
Yes.
Which means you can boost Flagberg with it.
I will say I see a merit for both because we'll talk about this here in a little bit, but you're going to be using a soul a lot more than you're going to be using Counterblast.
Well, there is no little bit. Just do it so we can get it done.
But I feel like the counter charger that goes in the soul is more needed than this card.
You mean because of this next double rare?
Yes. Tier Knight Alex. Alex. Auto rearguard. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard. If it's the 2nd battle of this turn or more, and you have a stand Vanguard Flagberg in its card name, you can Soul Blast 1, stand this unit, and it gets power +5.
So it's an inlet pulse, but for the 2nd battle.
Yes. But also, this is a better version of the Ride Line Grade 2, because the Ride Line Grade 2 never gained any power, and he's a CB. This card just uses a Soul Blast and gets power, so it can hit without having to go out of loops to make a hit.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Flagberg players are now going to put this in, put Inlet Pulse in, put other cards in to help the deck, and then just forget about the Ride Line and go into Rora so to keep Soul.
Probably, yeah. And then you're probably going to use, like you were saying earlier, the guy that counter charges and goes into soul just to keep filling the soul on the 5th battle.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, congratulations, Flagberg players. If you have this and somehow magically get that grade 1 behind Flagberg, your opponent, you can now do Flagberg skills so your opponent's at grade 2 with 0 CB.
We just need that promo now, the grade 3 that can attack from the back row. And I think the deck is in a good spot because with Impulse and this Soul Blasting the Resend and Flagberg having basically a free ability through 2 cards, you're not CBing as much as before. Like almost nothing.
Almost nothing, yeah. Literally the only thing that you would CB would be the red line grade 2. But if you're not running that red line, then
well, you might still run the red line grade 2 just to have, because while this card is good and Impulse is good, seeing both of them at the same time is going to be hard. So having more cards that can just stand and get you to those 5 attacks is good. Also,
having an option to CB to restand instead of having a Soul Blast after you're burning through all this Soul Blast is going to be a thing too.
Yeah. I know for a fact the thing that attacks a Rearguard to resand is going out of the deck.
Oh, that was already out. It's definitely out if you're still running it.
There we go. All right. Last card to talk about in this week's leaks is actually another lore card promo, and they decided to skip Thegri and go straight into Michu. So we're getting Thegri next week. But
can I just talk, before you cover this card, I just want to talk about how dumb this card is.
Really? All right. I want to hear your opinion because I don't think it is that dumb. I was honestly considering not running it, but you might change my mind. Light that shines on Solitude. It's a grade 1 normal order for Michu. Play this if you have a Vanguard Michu in its card name. Perform one of the following. Either search your deck for up to 1 card with Nanoko in its card name, discard it, and shuffle your deck. So that is the Ride Line card.
That's the card that lets you switch your Vanguard with the back row center.
That is the card with the glitter ability, yada, yada, yada. Or if you have a back row center Rearguard with Nanoko in its card name, counter charge 1. So please elaborate why this card is stupid, and then I'll give my thoughts.
So the thing about the glitter red lines is all of your glitters from grade 0 up are all Michu.
Okay.
Which means that this is live immediately at grade 1.
Okay.
So that means you can immediately drop your piece for your combo into your drop zone at grade 1 from your deck.
Yeah.
I don't see how that's not good. That's like me saying here's a guaranteed 2 rah enemies for Tamayura into my soul at grade 1 immediately. No like having to check the top 7 or anything. You immediately just get it in there.
I will say, I think the only reason I'm struggling to see the really good merit of this card, which you're not wrong, you're right. Let's say you play, honestly, you can now play 2 Michu and 3 of this card to have 5 copies, basically. Because you don't need that many of those Nanokos. You just need 1, because only one's going to be in the back row. Before you played 3 to 4, because you needed to see it. But even when we were playtesting, I was only playing 3. I still saw the card when I needed to see it.
And it's even worse than that is, it's only good in the back row center. So afterwards, it's just kind of like a dead card in your drop.
Yeah.
The reason I say this is good is because not only does it allow you to run less, like you said, only 2. So that way, in case, early in the game, you can get it out. So you have it in the drop. Technically, you only have to run 1 unless your opponent has a way to bind.
If it has damage.
But this is at grade 1. As soon as you start the game, you can drop it.
Yeah, but you need to see the order.
Fair.
Like that is, I'd still play a minimum 2.
But that's just that effect alone.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have this card is counter charge 1.
Oh, the counter charge I'm taking. I'm taking the counter charge. The thing that does bother me about the card, and I'm gonna just mention this now. Sorry for people that are watching this, and I'm slowly going dark. Apparently I thought the light outside is going to stay the same. No, clouds start rolling in. So cool. Ambient lighting. Let me just brighten this up a little bit in that case. That's too much. Sorry. All right. I'm going to cut this fucking part out. There we go. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. The thing I don't particularly like about this card is the fact that it's a minus. Like, yes, you get some good stuff. You get the glitter card into your drop. You get a counter charge, but you're minusing a card in your hand. Like, that's the only thing that I don't like about this card. Every other card we've seen for glitter is like, here's a fucking plus.
I mean, here's the way I look at this. Remember when we played MLB back in V?
Yeah.
Remember how good that order was?
You have to get a blaster.
Think of this, but instead now you have a counter charge on it.
I will take the counter charge. Don't get me wrong. Michu is counter blast heavy, so I will definitely take the counter charge. I don't know. We'll be testing it.
So many upside to this card.
We'll be testing it soon. My mind might change. What I'm honestly going to do, I'm going to put 3 of this order in, 2 of the grade 1 glitter, and see how that runs.
The only downside I can find with this card is that you're just adding more orders into your deck. But, I mean, you're adding so much consistency.
It's weird. It is weird. Like we're test it out and see what happens. Who knows? Maybe it is good. Anyway, with that being said, that was the last card for this week of the leaks. We're going to go into the news section, but before that, if you're interested in buying any cards we just mentioned, go check out Triple Sleeve TCG.
They got great deals on singles, clan splits, and even cases, so go check out their website.
Link will be in the description. All right. Me over here in my dark room. Moving on. There's not really much news to talk about. Like, Bushiroad Championship Series is currently going underway. They did add two new locations. One is Singapore for Asia, and the other is Manhattan, New York for America. You going to Manhattan?
I don't know. Honestly, it depends on the price. If it's affordable, like $500 for the trip or less, I honestly might go.
It will be like 500 and less. You're fine. Like,
but you gotta
finding somewhere to.
It's also in Manhattan during December.
I know. Finding somewhere to stay is going to be key. Getting there is cheap. Like, you guys can either drive or take a plane.
Yeah.
But for Singapore, what I've seen is people are also excited because, but she's located in Singapore, one of their locations. So it's like, hey, look, it's over there.
It's like, here, come to our office, place Vanguard.
As for Europe, everything still stay the same. You guys can find me over at Leeds here in less than a month, and then Rome and potentially Belgium.
He's got all the events going on over there.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't need it.
At the time of the recording, Spain is going on. I'm not in Spain, clearly. And I'm probably not going to be going to France unless I top in Rome. Because that's the weirdest fucking part. Apparently, Rome, only in Vanguard, not in Weiss. Weiss is still an invite to Worlds. In Rome, if you top Vanguard, you get a free trip to France regionals. So I might be going to France if I top Rome.
I mean, if you're planning on taking a fun vacation to France.
I will say, and this is going to be very crucial on you, Rome will be set 6 legal. So if I can get my shit from you guys before Rome, this is going to be a good chance to test out the set 6 Bruce and how it's going to fare and prep for Worlds.
This is all going to come down to how fast deliveries get sent to my house and how fast the postal service works.
Exactly. We'll figure that stuff out as we go. But the other bigger news that you guys probably kind of guessed, either it's in the name of the title or something, the English ban list is out. And oh boy.
Is it good and it sucks at the same time?
So here, let me explain before we show the ban list. We saw the Japanese ban list. It's also in here. And everybody was excited because they hit the right cards they needed to hit.
But they also didn't hit the right cards also.
No. So Japan did it right. And then we saw results of BCSs. And was like, okay, this is a problem. English hasn't put out the ban list. Please address this problem. And while they did hit the same things as Japan did, which is the good part, they forgot to hit the problematic things, which is why most of the community has been uproared again. So let's...
I think a little different, but I'll alliterate later why I think that's different.
So let's start off with the ban list, and for the first picture, we got this little nifty here. For Nubatama, Stealth Beast, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, is getting restricted in English.
The crow is gone.
This is basically just copying Japan. But the fun part is, Percival's gone again.
This time completely.
Yeah. It's like, nah, we gave you a chance. Goodbye.
Rip Bluish Flame players that had a hope.
Oh yeah, Bluish. This just literally killed all the support that Bluish Flame deck got. Like literally, here's a Bluish Flame deck you want to play in Premium or V Premium, technically. Just V Premium. Don't play it.
This is literally that teacher in elementary school that's like, all right, kids, everybody doesn't get to go to recess because Jimmy over here ruined it for everybody.
Pretty much. So V Premium is in an interesting spot with that. And then if we move on, more V Premium restrictions, or unrestrictions in this case, Sharon and Ellie are back. So Bushiroad decided, these two cards, they weren't that problematic. Let's unleash those two decks again. And then Q-Tree got restricted completely, which honestly I do feel was a good choice. Like that was a very, very good choice for V Premium.
Yeah, I mean, Highlander has Revier as another Vanguard they can use. They don't need this.
Yeah, like Q-Tree wasn't even being used in Highlander, which was the sad part. Like she was being used in every other deck.
She was used to make Highlander in any other deck.
Good.
Yeah. The Sharon though. Well, obviously these are the only V Premium, so I feel like I can go ahead and talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
They did not hit gears.
Nope. Let's show the last picture for premium restrictions. Standard did not get touched, but this is premium. Odysseus, Mystery Flare Dragon, Nizari are completely restricted, and Urination is restricted to 1. So this is basically the last 2 cards are copying. Actually, all of these cards are just mimicking the Japanese ban list, which is good. Because trust me, Odysseus and Mystery Flare, after what I've heard in Germany, these cards needed to get hit in premium. Like, needed.
Yeah. But obviously though, this is the whole ban list.
Yep.
No hits of standard.
Yep.
But reason I said before that I felt like the Japanese list didn't hit it right is because before we knew about Odysseus and Mystery Flare Dragon, Narukami was showing up in tops quite a bit.
Good sir.
And people will say that, Narukami was the counter to those two because obviously you're playing into binding your own deck and then giving you a full field for Narukami. But I still feel like they should have done at least something to Narukami.
Yep. Whenever the counter deck,
a slap on the wrist.
Yes, I'm completely going to copy Eric's statistics in this case because he did a good job at it. Whenever the counter deck to the 2 main decks that are being problematic is more represented than the actual 2 main decks that are being problems, I think the counter deck might be the problem.
So you're probably going to see this turn into another 1-deck format for premium.
We'll see. Narukami is going to be in that weird spot. We do definitely need to see if just Odysseus and Mystery Flare were the cause of Narukami's hype, and if other decks that come out are going to be. But I'm still going to say this. What's the fucking stride called?
Stunverse?
Yeah. I think Stunverse definitely needs to be hit to 1 for the simple fact of the first Stunverse is not that detrimental, and it just activates Narukami's ability. Mm-hmm. Any other Stunverse after that is basically a kill dirt.
Yeah, and it's either you hit Stunverse or you hit Exterminate, because the reason Narukami is good is because if you try to play around Stunverse, they'll Exterminate. Yep. And Exterminate's really strong if you try to play counter against it.
Yep.
So there's no good way to go against it. Or that too, you can choice restrict it.
Just play Exterminate or Stunverse. Give people options.
Yeah, just do something. Even the fact that they're not doing anything is a problem.
I'm more concerned for V Premium. They're not doing anything about Steam Maidens.
Yeah, I think that one's even more toxic. Steam Maidens was already like showing like a 75, close to 75% representation in some
So
tournaments.
there's two problems with Steam Maidens. One is the fact that one card is a +3 engine. And that is the new card that came out for Steam Maidens. The card that calls out the cat. The card that gets looks at the top 3 for Cannon Blast. And the cat can also, like, for Cannon Blast 1, Soul Blast 1 in one card to get +3 is a kind of stupid.
You get like 2 cards in hand and 1 card to board for nothing.
I'm going to piggyback off of Solemn. He said it beautifully. You put that kind of card effect in any nation, any clan, that clan jumps up in the tier list either 1 or 2 stops. So that, honestly, I think is a problem. That card needs to get either choice restricted or just gone. Sorry, Eric. But I do agree with Eric on the other part is the fact that the Colossus is definitely a problem as well. Whenever a deck can perform 5 to 6 attacks, and each one is a Baldoro.
Yeah. I think the Colossus, in my opinion, is more of a critical hit than the +3. Like, don't get me wrong, the +3 is really good.
The +3 is good because the fact is you plus so much into your hand and board while still on top having access to 5-6 attacks for almost no cost. Like it's not like you're getting 5, 6, 7 attacks for 3 counterblast. No, Steam Minions can do 5 to 6 attacks if I'm not mistaken for 1 CB.
Yeah. Regardless, though, I felt like they should have hit it. But you know what I know what they were thinking, and I think the community thinks the same thing. They said, well, how about we do this? Instead of hitting Steam Maidens, because for some reason I think they like them.
It just came out.
Let's just put in another giant beast into the fighting ring and let them fight.
Yeah, we mean 2. Like we got Luar back, and we technically got Prism back in a sense.
Sort of like, give Luar the consistency. We see how it is in Japan. Let's just let them fight and see what happens.
Like I've been talking to Echo, and he's of the opinion that while they didn't hit Steam Maidens, unrestricting those cards is fine because now Steam Maiden is going to have something to fight against. But at the same time, I'm in the mentality of like, well, you're not wrong, but unrestricting 2 stupid decks and having 3 stupid decks now fighting for the top is not fixing the problem. Look at Standard.
It's just making it more, yeah. It's just making it more of a toxic deck community.
Like, whenever you have 1 tier 0 deck, adding 2 more tier 0 decks doesn't make it them tier 1.
It just gives it less chance for the decks that wanted to play more chance to play.
Standard's probably in the best position you ever had. Like, there is decks that top, of course, but it's so super diverse. Like, dude, in 1 week, in the week we had Rosemont and Germany, only Boost player here that topped. Hey.
I mean, yeah, you're going to see Gravidia represented, but just because Gravidia is a favorite deck, it's not that it's like
Nirvana, same way.
overpowered.
Nirvana is honestly really, really strong after fighting it. Like, the deck is really, really strong. And then Jill is still a strong deck. Flagberg has the early game rush, can win. Like, you got so many other decks, but you got decks like Bruce that's still strong and playing top. And then you got decks like fucking Greedon that took Bro away. And as well got the top 8 in Germany. Fought the Greedon fucking player. Trust me, I was sweating.
But regardless, though, like, I agree. Standard's in a really good spot.
Yeah. Anyway, that has been it for the ban list. I feel like that we're going to get an emergency balance here in a bit. There is a reason I honestly do think they didn't hit Steam Maidens, and it's honestly the same reason that's been happening in Weiss Sports, actually. I talked to my friends here yesterday about it. The Weiss restriction list, they unrestricted a card for Kaguya, for those people that are interested in Weiss, and they choice restricted a card in Mushoku Tensei, as well as choice restricted something else. I forgot. But my point is they hit Mushoku in another deck, and they didn't even touch on the deck that's been running rampant in White Swords, which is quintuplets. And that's just because the deck just came out. Like, set 2 for that deck just came out, and that deck, that's what made it stupid and what it's making it meta, and you're seeing it everywhere in the Weiss scene. But of course, they didn't hit it on the ban list because it's fresh. Same thing can be said for Steam Maidens. Like, V-Clan Collection just came out not too long ago. They're not going to hit a card that just came out.
I mean, also, there's rumors that Bushiroad's ban lists are on a delay. So they're going by information from previous tournaments and not current tournaments.
Yeah.
So obviously this tournament just happened, so they probably already had this list before that tournament even happened.
We're honestly they're gonna probably hit stuff after Worlds, if we're honest, or after the actual season before Worlds, because they're gonna look at, okay, what happened? What do we need to fix for Worlds so people don't go stupid?
Exactly.
But with that being said, I think that's all we want to talk about. Nice little ban list rant there at the end. If you guys are interested in anything else, actually, let me just restart that spiel because I'm completely just messed up. Thank you everybody so much for watching episode 147 of Beat Time. If you like the video, please do like, share with your friends, comment down below what your thoughts on the ban list are. Other than that, if you like what we do here, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell to get notified. Maybe even follow us on Twitter, join us on Discord, watch us on Twitch, or like our Facebook. But with that, I've been Philip.
This is Alex.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Woo! Dude, you can't believe what happened last week. Eric fucking stole my woo.
He stole your woo.
He stole my woo.
Oh, your woo. Oh, yeah.
What did you think I said?
I thought you said room for some reason.
No.
He stole your woo.